Would you please identify yourself, sir?
My name is Kenneth Frei. I was born in 1947, 7th month, 7th day of 47. And 7 is my lucky number. So
July is a good one because
Yeah.
I was July 2.
okay.
We might do a little ad-libbing here. So you are Kenneth Frei and you're born in 47 and you're from where?
I'm from the Arcadia area.
Oh, from the Arcadia area.
Lived here most of my life between here and Fountain City. I lived here all my life.
Okay. So the person who was interviewing you, I probably should identify myself, or maybe I shouldn't, huh? I don't know.
You can. Yeah.
Yeah, Todd Fetsch, former veterinarian, Arcadia, came here in '69, and we'll get into that later on. But the person being interviewed is Kenneth Frei, and he's going to be talking about his military experience. And he showed you a map of Vietnam, and so he served in Vietnam. That's correct. So why don't you talk about your military experience? Where you started, what happened, and how you got? Did you get drafted? You joined? Did you? And then what happened after that? Your training and all that sort of thing, and what kind of a unit you were in, and where the red light is on, right?
Yeah.
Make sure the red light is on. Okay.
Okay, I was working on the Mississippi River on the dredge Thompson, and one day my captain announced over the intercom that I got my draft notice, and he read it over the intercom to me, and I was out on the river. So from there we went.
Which river is that?
Mississippi River.
Ah.
And so I finished that out. I guess I left early. I left in August, where they normally run till closer to freeze up. But I left in August and had a few things to take care of and little off time. Am I supposed to have this on?
It'd be a good. Yeah, that'd be a good idea to put that back on again. Yeah, I guess it picked it up anyways.
Okay.
Because it was. This is probably a better. Maybe start all over.
Maybe.
Yeah, to be sure he didn't put that back on again. Okay.
Should I start over or continue?
Yeah, why don't you do that? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Kenneth Frei. I'm from Arcadia, born and raised between Arcadia and Fountain City. Went to high school in Cochrane, Fountain City, and was drafted through the Buffalo County seat of Alma. I was taken, me and one other guy from Alma was taken by the sheriff over to Wabasha to get on a bus to be taken to Minneapolis to start my military journey. And after being processed in, I went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Kentucky. Oh, the big one. Did you watch a review again that you were on a dredge in the Mississippi River? To review that part again.
Okay. When I got my draft notice, I was on the dredge on the Mississippi River.
And how old were you then?
I was
18?
No, I was a little older because I had a farm deferment for a couple of years.
Oh.
And that didn't work out, so I left the farm probably in July, and by November I was drafted. So it went quite fast.
And you lived in that place up in the Fountain City Ridge where that round barn is on County G and Highway 95, right?
Correct, yes.
And your dad was who? Gaylord?
Gaylord was my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's still there, isn't it, or is it down?
No, the round barn is down.
Finally down.
Yeah.
Huh?
So,
I remember that barn.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you got drafted, or did you get drafted, or did you join after?
I got drafted, and shortly after, at your in processing time, you get put in front of a recruiting sergeant or whatever he was for rank, and they try and talk you into another year. So there was a picture of this Chinook on the wall, and he says, if you sign up for another year, I'll guarantee you the schooling, and you'll be on working with them Chinooks throughout your Army career.
Oh.
And I thought, oh boy, how is this going to sit? But you had like maybe 2 seconds, 2 minutes to think it over, and they wanted an answer. So, okay, we'll do it. And I got everything that was promised. I was sent to school after, I went to, my basic training was Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Then I went to Fort Eustis, Virginia for 12 weeks on this helicopter school. And after 12 weeks, I was an expert. I could do anything that needed to be done on this
on the
multi-million-dollar Chinook.
Yeah. You got to show a picture what a Chinook chopper is.
Okay.
Yeah. A Chinook chopper was the workhorse in Vietnam besides the Huey, right?
Right. The Chinook
was a banana. I called it the banana chopper.
Well,
it looked like a banana. To me, it looked like banana.
Well, I've heard them called everything now from a banana to a flying coffin. So,
oh, gee. Oh. Yeah,
but we were into rescuing. I guess this would be a better picture of a Chinook. It's a tandem rotor.
I'm gonna do
2 engines. I think it was about 50 feet in length. And
he's biggie.
It could carry
20,000
pounds off the hook. It was used mainly for carrying troops and slinging loads underneath. It had a big hook in the middle, but you dropped a nylon strap down, and then there was a rigging crew that would hook you up to whatever you had to lift up. And with us, it was always downed aircraft. And you'd pick them up and take them back. I guess the majority of them went back to Saigon. And then they were rebuilt there, and if they were too bad a shape, they were sent back to the States. So...
but you were able to fix, you were an expert then, after you were trained, right?
The company I was with was the highest echelon of maintenance in Vietnam.
Oh.
If it wasn't able to be fixed at that company, it got sent back. And the recovery unit was an attachment to that, which I was a mechanic for, I think, from July to September, and that just seemed boring. I mean, you went to your hooch at night. In the morning, you got up and you went to this hangar, and that was as far as you got. That's all you did. Worked on helicopters then. So, and then we could had to go up on test flights. So any chopper that you worked on had to be tested before it went back out to the field. And the mechanics that worked on it had to fly along with this test flight.
Oh.
So that was a way of making darn sure you did your best and everything was done right.
Man, that's interesting. That's interesting. That makes sense.
So, after that, after flying, then you started out as a door gunner, and then you worked your way up to crew chief, and then flight engineer. He laid over the hole and directed the pilot down into the load to be hooked up. And
so you became a door gunner once upon a time too, then?
Yes. Yep. Was a door gunner for some time, and then as the other soldiers rotated back to the States, then you just moved up another position from one door gunner to another door gunner to the tail gunner to the flight engineer. So
Really? So when you were a door gunner, what were you shooting at?
well, we were very fortunate and I never had to shoot at anything.
Good for you.
Everything was pretty well secure before they called us in because
Oh, okay.
the down aircraft that we were picking up had another crew there already to rig it. By rigging, I mean they would tie the blades down to the aircraft fuselage and then put a parachute on the back end of it. So as you were going through the air, that parachute would hold that aircraft straight. It wouldn't spin. Although one did start spinning for some stupid reason, got the parachute all tangled up within it and was spinning, and it was swinging back and forth under our aircraft, which was in turn making our aircraft going back and forth. So there's a little magic button in there that if you got trouble, you push that button and you drop the load, and that's just what happened.
Ooh, go splash. Huh?
Yeah, we dropped it, and then the rigging crew their chopper had all the armament on it to take care of something like that, and they went down across it a few times and destroyed it. There was nothing left when they were done was any good for anybody else. So that was one that was totally lost.
Okay.
So
okay. Interesting.
And
so when did you know you were going to be going to Vietnam?
I knew that before I left.
Training. Huh?
I knew that before I left home.
Oh, you did, huh?
Nothing on paper, but in the back of my mind at that time, and what I was going in for the helicopter training, it was very sure that that's where I was going to end up.
This is back in the years of what? What were the years that you joined? Well, I guess that we didn't say that.
Okay, I joined November 27th of 1967 is when I entered.
Another 7, huh?
Another 7, yeah.
Yeah.
And I completed my 3 years, and I got out about the same date in 1970.
Oh, okay.
Got back from Vietnam. We got married. We moved to Fort Benning, Georgia, where we spent 16 months and came home with a little girl.
Oh.
So
that was your tour. Any more discussion as far as when you went to Vietnam? Where did you go, and how long were you in that area? You pointed out, perhaps you might want to point it out on the map again where you were stationed.
I was stationed at Phu Loy, which was approximately 20 miles north of Saigon. Now, I had it on here before, but...
You got your glasses off.
No.
Phu Loy was kind of northeast.
Yeah.
Or northwest of Saigon, wasn't it?
Right.
And during this...
well, here's Cu Chi. That was very close.
Okay, where your finger is. So you can see there's Saigon, and this is where he was located when he was in Vietnam. Were you there for a whole tour, 1 or 2 years, or how long?
I was there for a couple days short of 1 year.
Okay.
And I got over there right after the big Tet Offensive. That was in May, I believe.
Well, that was the May Offensive, if I remember right. I remember when I got there. It was May.
No, you
offensive.
should have been there yet.
I was in May. Yeah, we got. That's when But the Tet Offensive was, I think, wasn't that in February?
I don't really know. Nothing happened when I was there. I got there the 4th of July.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, so
Yeah.
okay. So you were there when...
Celebrated my 21st birthday the 7th of July. So it was
There you go. Right after the 4th. Huh?
yeah.
Okay.
So anyway,
So that's when you came in country then. Huh?
that's when I came in country, and I was at Fuloy the whole time, the whole year.
Okay. So do you recall having any? Many times you were in the air recovering equipment and soldiers and this type of a thing, I imagine. What other duties or whatever activities happened while you were there? Was your base attacked, or did you have to stand guard duty around the perimeter? Did you have, on the berm or this type of thing? Or
Yeah, we all had to take our turn at guard duty. We all walk into flight line, which was not one of my favorite assignments.
why was that? What was the flight
Well,
line?
you're walking around in the dark at night and hoping like heck you don't see anybody because there's not supposed to be anybody else out there.
Oh yeah, I suppose. yeah.
So
Identify yourself. Huh?
yes. So and that went around, I would say, once every 6 weeks, 2 months, something like that. You got to turn at guard duty.
Somebody had to do it, right?
Yes. And the only other thing that was kind of spooky on guard duties, whenever there was activity around the perimeter of our compound, they'd fly these airplanes over dropping flares.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care how dark it was, they would light it up just like it was daylight or even brighter. So you could see everything.
I recall those. It wasn't exactly the 4th of July. It was really, it was brighter than that, wasn't it?
Yes, it was really bright.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
After they quieted down, it took a while before you could see anything in the dark again. So
So the flares weren't just shot up in the air; they were dropped by choppers.
they were dropped by choppers. No, airplanes.
By airplanes.
Yes.
By spooks, or what do you call those?
Yeah.
What was the C-130s?
C-130s is what they were.
Yeah. I do remember that, like you say, it just lit up the night sky or the area like like daylight.
Yeah.
It's something else. So you weren't having to deal with any people coming over the berm and causing you problems. So.
No.
Were there people that used dogs for your perimeter or for your safety's sake?
No, not that I know of. I didn't come in contact with anybody with dogs.
Okay.
No.
With the sentry dogs or this type of thing.
No, we didn't have.
So you were at Fuloy for most of your tour then?
I was there for all of my tour.
Okay.
Yeah.
And while you were there, as far as being, were you bombarded by, what do you call those things? Oh, come on here. Rockets or anything like that?
Artillery from
the other
from
side?
the enemy.
From old Charlie?
Not close to our company. In fact, I don't. The only time any of our base was hit was by friendly fire.
Aye.
Yeah. There was an artillery base it was quite a ways away from us, and they got goofed up with their calculations, and a couple of them did land not right in the company area, but within the compound.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. And luckily you weren't there right, at that time.
I don't know if anybody got hurt, but it was something that wasn't supposed to happen, but I guess we were all human and stuff like that happens.
Interesting thing, I heard that in the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C., of all those 57,000 people that are indicated there, 10,000 of them were
Yes.
killed by
Friendly
fire.
Yeah, how sad.
I had forgotten that. I remember seeing that monument, and that hit hard,
Yes.
you know. But like you say, people are, can make mistakes. So you were there for your entire tour. So did you ever move into or go get some little R&R or some visits to Saigon, or did you go any other places in country there at all? Because you had chopper, you had a way to go there, I suppose.
Yeah, I was in Vung Tau for 2 weeks. That was considered an R&R, in-country R&R center. But I was down there for school. They sent me down there for Chinook Helicopter school while in country for 2 weeks.
Oh,
and
okay.
I guess I could have called that an R&R.
Right.
It was...
As we discussed earlier, when I was there, I was told that it was also an R&R center for the Vietnamese, or for Charlie, for the Viet Cong. I mean, how true was that?
The South Vietnamese.
The South Vietnamese, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie was North Vietnamese.
Yeah, right. But so it was a interesting place. There was a hospital there. I remember there was a hospital there. But anyway, so you were there. Did you have any time off there? Did you get go to R&R to other centers? Some people went to Taiwan. Some people went to Hong Kong. Some people went to Japan. Some people went to Australia. Where did you go? Nowhere.
I didn't go anywhere. The only time out of the company area was to Vung Tau for 2 weeks for
Really?
school.
You didn't get to Saigon and go to Cholan, huh?
No.
That was a place where you could buy all these stereo sets and cameras and all that sort of thing.
No.
But it was very dangerous.
Didn't get a chance to go shopping.
Didn't get a chance to spend any money, huh? Okay. I understand what you're saying. Therefore, what other activities you want to reiterate about some situations there that maybe might have been a little bit dangerous, or it was always dangerous, I suppose, but...
Well, I can't think of anything that was really dangerous. Like I said, when they called us in, it was usually secured. We were basically cleaning up after it.
Okay.
There was only one time where we had a night flight, and we were at, I believe it was 10,000 feet, freezing our behinds off. It is cold up there.
It is, yeah. People don't realize that.
Right. You're out in basically, well, it's not open air, but you're not totally enclosed. The doors are open, and some of the windows are out of this chopper, and you could see tracers coming up. But we were too high. They couldn't reach us. So they just come up and just kind of arch back down again.
What color were they?
They were just like that light on the camera. They were red.
That's right. What color were ours?
I have no idea.
Green. Supposedly ours were supposed to be green.
Okay.
I remember...
Well, I hope our troops weren't shooting at us.
Yeah, really. If I remember right, on New Year's Eve, where I was stationed, there was all kinds of tracers going up in the air, green and red, and I thought, okay, is this real? I mean, is it safe? But getting back to you didn't see the Bob Hope show. I mean, we discussed this.
Yeah, no, I did not.
He was there during your time,
Right,
you know.
right.
Just say December 68, he was there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we heard all about it, but none of us from our base company got a chance to go because it probably was for more of those that were really tromping rice paddies and out in the jungles and doing basic fighting.
yeah.
Where we were in a secure area, and
It's kind of like I think World War II. There was always the rear was always
Yeah.
pretty safe, but in Vietnam there was no such thing.
no, there was no rear. I mean, we were,
You're surrounded by the enemy.
yeah. But I'm thinking Phu Lai was a big helicopter base. Other companies with other choppers and stuff were there. I think on the other paper we were looking at, it called it like a helicopter center, repair center, basically.
Oh,
And
so Hueys and what were the other ones? The super duper two pilot the guns the gunships. Cobras, yeah.
that's basically what we dealt with, was Hueys and Cobras.
Okay, that's what you picked them up and all that sort of
Yeah.
thing. Well, real good. Well, moving on to your other places where, and then maybe experiences. If you got nothing there, you probably could talk about your civilian life. What has you've been part of the community for quite a few years, and you came home and you were married and had a little child.
Yeah, I guess life took off from there.
Who was it was a girl? Who was that? Was it a girl, your first child?
Christine, his daughter, yes.
Christine. I know one of your daughters was a friend of our daughter. She was...
Christy graduated in '89.
Oh, is that right?
And Jenny would have been probably 92, 93, somewhere in there.
Okay.
But when I got back home, I guess I kind of loafed for a couple months, not loafed, but didn't really have a full-time job.
You could breathe a little bit better, huh?
My wife claims you had 3 jobs and you were never home. So
Yeah.
I helped my dad on the farm. I worked for Town of Cross, plowing snow in the wintertime. And then I started working for Town of Glencoe, plowing snow, which ended up being a 12-year hitch. We moved over here then, over in the Arcadia area, shortly after that, and I did road maintenance for the Town of Glencoe for 12 years. And from there, I went to AG Welding Shop, worked there for 8 years.
AC welding shop. Who's that? Yeah, Arcadia.
It was our AG.
Oh, AG. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which stood for Arcadia Glencoe, I believe. There was one time a Glencoe creamery where the old hatchery was.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But anyway, yeah, I worked there for 8 years and then got brave and went on my own. Had a welding business here for 30 some years, and guess I can say I was basically retired for, I don't know, 3-4 years.
You're never retired.
Well, I guess you can say that. but you know what the difference is, you can work when you want to, not have to.
That's true. And you can get up later in the day.
Yeah.
If you like, if you want to, you know. There's always those amenities, you know.
Yeah.
So you had a family. How many in your family?
We have 3 children.
Okay.
Christy's the oldest, and there's Bob and Jennifer.
Okay.
So Christy's at Loyal, Wisconsin. Bob's at Holman, Wisconsin, and Jenny's at Norway, Michigan.
Oh, so this is how you got connected with those Norwegians up there, huh?
Yes.
And you got on
Nice
that.
country, very pretty. Very.
It is gorgeous country. And you've been involved in, perhaps you want to talk about community activities. You talked about your occupation there, of course, and a very good welder. And okay, occupation. You talked about genealogy, community activities. Okay.
Well, it's basically mostly to do with the veterans. I was commander of the VFW for many years, and then Arcadia Post disband, and I was a life member, so then I was transferred to the Trempealeau VFW post.
Oh.
And after that, I pretty much lost contact. Wasn't really involved with
With them at all.
them at all. No, which
You
is
didn't-
my own fault. I
Well,
could and should, but
You didn't get attached to the Cochrane bunch, huh?
no,
Okay.
no. I guess I had that option, but it never was really mentioned a whole lot about Cochrane.
Yeah.
I knew a couple of the guys at Trempealeau and kind of just went that route.
Went that way.
So,
Okay, doke. Well, and you live up in this beautiful valley called
Bowling Valley.
Bolin Valley.
Yeah.
Basically named after, is it named after Tom Bolin back here? Or
Well,
who was before him?
years back, it was pretty much all Bolins lived here. You had Tom Bolin up on the upper end, and Jim Bolin, his brother, lived back in the valley. And then I guess right above us was the Dovelstein. And our little homestead here, that we started from scratch. We built this from nothing. And right below us was Joe Bolin.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't know any of them. I knew Tom
okay.
because he farmed at the end of the valley here.
Right.
And so I'm just curious as to how the name got attached. Of course, it's usually named after somebody.
Yeah. Well, there was
So-
a majority of the people lived here were Bolins. So-
Okay. Okay. Very fine. So you married your lovely wife. She was where's she from? She from
she was
Eau Claire?
she is from the Fountain City. They had Fountain City address, but Arcadia School District. Name is Darlene Daly, Joe Daly's daughter, and I was very good friends with her brother, and then it just continued on
I
for
remember
50 some years now.
Alligator Slide.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, Alligator Joe Daly and the twins
Yes.
and Gary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to hear about those names again, and people appreciate hearing your story. I believe it looks like we're winding down towards the end of it. I don't know if you want to take a show your book that your family made for you about your tour in Vietnam. You want just to show it there, and I'll just take and Yeah, I'll do that.
We have a daughter-in-law that is a English teacher, and she, with her son, her husband, put this book together. Through my military career, any papers, orders, or anything just got stuffed in a big vanilla envelope. So when we got talking about this book thing, we just got that envelope out, and there pretty much was all the information. And through that, she and Bob compiled this book. And it's got pretty much everything in it. All my orders, pictures of landscape in Vietnam, pictures of aircraft, pictures of things we did, like recovering other aircraft. And let's see if I can find the one here that
That was very nice of them to do that for you. It's
Here is a picture of our aircraft. Whenever we recovered another one, we could paint a silhouette of the one recovered on the side of our aircraft. I don't know if you can pick it up.
Yep,
Very
we
good
certainly
or not.
can. It looks like you got some Hueys on there.
Oh yeah, there's a number. That was our.
Anything bigger?
No, it was Hueys and Cobras.
And Cobras.
Yeah,
Okay.
that kept us busy. That was.
I imagine
We
that was,
had
that's basically the war.
no fixed wing. One day I believe we did carry supplies, but that was. We took lumber, big cubes of lumber that were a truckload. So we'd pick them up and carry them out partway out into the jungle and set them down on trucks. And then they would take them deeper into the companies. But that was just one day, otherwise it was all recovery.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Perhaps you were in the area where I was.
I believe it was close.
It was doggone close, yeah.
Yeah.
Because 9th S&T used to be down there, 9th Infantry Division. I was attached to the 9th Infantry Division. And I used 9th S&T to get lumber.
Okay.
To help build my veterinary office and all that sort of thing. But, well,
Probably carried it in for you.
I believe it. We did have caribous and C-130s that were able to come in our area. I didn't see a lot of Chinooks. Saw a lot of Cobras and Hueys and all those types of choppers. But yeah, but that's another story. That's for me to tell me in my story.
Yeah.
But so this is the story for Mr. Kenneth Frei, Arcadia, Chinook chopper mechanic and community activist in the American Legion Post 17 and a super duper welder. And thank you for your time.